From the Amazon came the tears of the moon. A single petal from the great tree could cure any illness and break any curse. Over the centuries many expeditions went searching for the healing tears of legend. None more famous than the Don Aguirre. His daughter Ana had fallen ill. She was all he had and vowed he wouldn't lose her. Don Aguirre leads Spanish conquistadors to South America to search for the Lagrimas de Cristal tree, the tree whose flower could cure any illness and may heal his daughter. But the jungle fought their every step. One by one, the jungle took down the conquistadors. They were all but dead. Still Don Aguirre wouldn't turn back. And then, there came the Puka Maicuna tribe. The conquistadors would have all died had they not got saved with the tears of the moon. The petal's magic was real and healed all that was broken in them. It mended and they were revived. Aguirre was happy because he was closer to finding a cure for his daughter. But he grew impatient and he demanded the chief gives him the arrowhead so he could have access to the tree. But the chief refused and told him he's not worthy. Don Aguirre enraged stabs the chief and attacks the village despite all the kindness. The chief daughter takes the arrowhead and runs with it. The chief, knowing he is about to die, uses his last breath to protect their sacred tree by cursing Don Aguirre and all of the conquistadors so that they could never leave sight of the river, and if they tried, the jungle would always pull them back to itself for all eternity. As we proceed, keep enjoying more movie recaps and not miss out by hitting the subscribe button and turn on the notifications. The name of this movie is Jungle Cruise. Now, in London 1916, MacGregor present a research about the tears of the moon to the Royal Society, which bars against having women as members. In this research MacGregor hoped to revolutionize both medicine and the British war effort. MacGregor requests access to a recently acquired arrowhead artifact that he believes can locate the tree, but he has been denied by the Royal Society. Now we see Dr. Lily Houghton, the sister to MacGregor. She goes into the museum attempting to steal arrowhead. She finally found the arrowhead. Now, this is Prince Joachim. He too equally intent on finding the tree for himself and Germany. He made donations to the Royal Society in exchange for the arrowhead. But to their surprise the arrowhead was missing. Lily is found escaping with the arrowhead as she fight through with the guards. Prince Joachim kicks a box against her ladder and she burst out the window. Eventually, she landed on a moving double-decker and escaped. Now we see a skipper who offer and guide people down the Amazon. His name is Frank, also called Skipper. Frank offers jungle cruises embellished with faked and plain dangers. This was to make his tourists intense and horrified as they take the jungle cruise. After Frank finished his jungle cruise tour, Mr. Nilo, the owner of his boat, approached Frank to collect his money from him. Frank paid some part but not all, and Mr. Nilo decides to take Frank's boat's engine and locked it until Frank is able to pay back. Lily and MacGregor finally arrives in Brazil. Lily and MacGregor begin to search for a skipper who would take them on a passage upriver. Lily finally finds Frank and offered him the deal. Frank initially declines the deal upon sighting the dangerous river and jungle. But as he sees the arrowhead hung by Lily, he began to reconsider and later on, took the offer. A jaguar burst into the bar and fights with Frank. Frank best fought with the jaguar and then deceives the jaguar out the window. He got praised for that. Lily and MacGregor boards Frank's boat for departure. Looking ahead, Joachim's submarine submerged from the river. Joachim began firing at Frank's boat, lost power. Frank goes out to power a second engine, but Joachim this time fires a torpedo. He sighted this and escaped it by jumping over a house on the river. The team finally left unharmed and was on course. Night soon falls and they all had to eat. MacGregor, pursued by jaguar, runs out in fear, but Frank calms the jaguar down by its name Proxima. This made it clear to Lily that the bar fight was faked and also made her question if she can trust Frank at all. Now we see Joachim and his men go down in a cave to seek help. This is where Aguirre and his men were punished for trying to seal the arrowhead. Joachim dropped droplets of water on Aguirre's statue. This activated some part of the cursed Aguirre, and Joachim made a deal for Aguirre and his men to find the arrowhead for him so they both can get what they want. Joachim ignited a detonator to divert the river water to flow to the cave to free Aguirre and his men from being trapped in the cave, reanimated while fused with rainforest elements. Frank, Lily and MacGregor kept moving on course. They now reach the point on the river where the current is high. They sail through the rough river and at a point, they reach the path leading to a waterfall. But Frank increases his boat engine power in an attempt to go against the direction of the current and they eventually escaped it. On the next scene, Lily goes into Frank's cabin and Lily finds his research on the tears of the moon. When Frank returned, both of them argued, but Frank insisted he stopped searching long ago. During their argument, MacGregor gets shot at and passed out. Lily gets shot too and Frank holding on to her, he also gets shot and passed out. They are captured by cannibals and taken to their place up the trees. The three of them are tied and they face the cannibals' chief. Lily tried to escape but couldn't, and in that moment she found out that the cannibals are actually the Puka Maikuna tribe. They work for Frank as part of his contrived jungle cruise adventure. Angered, Lily distrusts Frank and decides to set off to find the tree herself. Tribal chief trader Sam translates the symbols on the arrowhead, revealing the tree's location and that it only blooms under a blood moon happening in some days. Aguirre and the conquistadors attack the tribe. Frank fights with Tree Conquistador as Lily is trying to escape. Now Frank fights with Aguirre again, reaching for the arrowhead. In his struggle, Aguirre stabs Frank through the heart. Frank struck even more, giving him the ability to get hold of the arrowhead, and he falls down with it. In his fall, he throws the arrowhead to Lily and she grabbed it. Frank falls hard downward and landed on the river. Lily flees with the artifact to get away from the river, but the conquistadors pursue after her. Chased by conquistadors, the jungle vines pull them back toward the river, preventing her to be captured. On the next scene, Lily calls out for McGregor as he searched for him, but to her amazement saw helpless Frank and helped him up. To the Houghton's amazement, Frank appears to be alive. He then reveals he is also a cursed conquistador. He helped search for the tears to save Aguirre's daughter but sided with the tribe against Aguirre's brutality during the fight. After years of endless fighting, Frank trapped his vengeful comrades in the cave away from the river, petrifying them. Failing to find the tree, Frank had to remain tied to the river, becoming a tour guide and building a village. Lily and Frank travel to the La Luna Rota waterfall and discover a submerged temple containing the tree. Meanwhile, Joaquim has captured McGregor and forces him to reveal Lily's location. Frank, the Houghtons, the Germans, all converge at the tree. Discovering the arrowhead is a locket containing a red gem, Lily inserts the two pieces into carvings in the bark of the tree, and the tree briefly blooms under the blood moon. A fight ensues and Frank fights Joaquim's men. Lily runs on the tree, but the moon began to set and this made the tree began to die off. But Lily was able to recover one flower. The branches began to fall down, making Lily to hold on to one branch and about fall too. Lily let go of the petal so she could ascend up, and Frank is meant to catch the petal from the boat. The German soldiers drown. Joaquim is crushed by a falling rock. Frank fights again with the conquistadors as he plans to crash his boat into the temple to block the river from flowing. In their fight, he gets stabbed again by Aguirre. Aguirre finds out the petal was not really with Frank and in that moment realized that the boat is about to crash with the temple, which will block the river water. Frank plans to petrify himself and the rest of the conquistadors to save Lily. This made the forest pulls the cursed back toward the river and became petrified. Realizing her true feelings for Frank, Lily sacrifices the flower to lift the curse and restore Frank's mortality. Frank became finally free of his curse. Later on, Frank decides to leave the Amazon to be with Lily. Returning to the village port, Frank sells his business to Nilo. Now in Britain, Lily becomes a full professor at the University of Cambridge and sends McGregor back to the Royal Society on her behalf to reject an invitation to join them. Lily and Frank then explore London together as Lily teaches Frank how to drive a car in the streets of London. Remember, make sure you're subscribed and turn on your notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and keep the movie buzz going. Lights. Camera. Recap.